what can you say about the Georgia-Auburn series that hasn't already been said?
I've been ready for this game since about Wednesday, and it's finally underway.
There goes Herschel! There goes Herschel!
Touchdown, Auburn! That was easy picking.
Oh, my gosh! Oh, my goodness!
And the Home Depot SEC on CBS brings us to the 121st meeting of the Deep South's oldest rivalry. From Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, the 10th-ranked Tigers against the #1 team in the country, the Georgia Bulldogs. Welcome, everybody. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Allie LaForce. Now, the college football standings came out again on Tuesday. Georgia stayed in the #1 spot, Alabama #2, but Auburn has moved to #10. And with that, Gary, it makes this one that much more important.
As the great philosopher Aaron Rodgers said, relax. A lot of football to be played.
Hard to relax in this atmosphere. 87,000 plus. Auburn won the toss and deferred. Daniel Carlson will kick it away to Mecole Hardman and Elijah Holyfield. From the plains, we're underway. Hardman at the goal line. Mecole got a little crease, tripped himself up, but he got out to the 30-yard line. And that's where Georgia will go to work first as we take a look at our Chick-fil-A starting lineups. And it all starts with Jake Fromm, the freshman quarterback. Accounted for 18 touchdowns so far, 3 on the ground, 15 through the air. And the guys that'll be up front, it'll be interesting. Got a couple of guys on that side, right guard and right tackle that are freshmen. And we know how good Auburn's front seven is. It'll be interesting. Nick Chubb and DeAndre Swift both in the Georgia backfield, and now Swift out to the slot on the first snap of the game. And it's Nick Chubb for a yard, and that's it. And a fired up Auburn defense. Trey Williams made the first stop. There's how they look. Jeff Holland, 8 sacks, leads the way when Jake Fromm drops to pass, which he will here, and got it complete to Charlie Warner, the tight end, but only about another yard.
One of the main coaching points from both sides on this football field today is you have to tackle. The running backs break tackles. The wide receivers get yards after catch. Whichever team has the better tackling team, they believe they can control this game.
Georgia's a 51% team, first in the SEC on third down conversions. Fromm pressured, throws deep this sideline, and it's caught by Hardman. Nope, it's Wims, but it's a first down.
One-on-one. And I tell you, when you've got Wims, the ways he's going up and catching these balls lately, if you're Jake Fromm, I don't care if you're still in high school, just throw the ball up there. What a throw and a better catch.
25th catch for Javon Wims this year. First down, Georgia at the 39 of Auburn. Play action. Fromm, plenty of time. Complete on the fly. Terry Godwin has got it inside the 15.
Every time Georgia puts their receivers tight, there's the threat of the crossing route. But Brad, you called it. Look at the time. The time to throw the ball a lot.
6, and the other one was when Godwin fumbled around the 5 a week ago. So that one almost shouldn't count.
Yeah, they didn't even get a snap. I'll tell you what, Sony Michel is such a great one-cut runner now. I thought early in his career he used to just kind of jitterbug too much, trying to make every play a touchdown. Now he plants that foot, and he's tough to tackle.
You look behind Sony and Fromm at the 6-yard line, second down and 2. Michel straight up the middle, bounces off, and it's first and goal. Georgia near the 1.
Well, Lamont Gilliard in the center that time did a good job of getting just enough push, just enough to allow Sony Michel to take that arm tackle and turning it into a first down.
So Georgia started at their own 30, 3 rushes, 3 passes. First and goal just outside the 1. Michel driving. Did he get there? Not quite. Derek Brown stood him up.
And if there's one thing that Auburn is counting on in this game is their front four winning one-on-one battles. They go, all that other stuff, the strategy of man versus zone, all that stuff. But if we don't win up front, Georgia is going to give it to us. They
Jumbo set. Fromm goes out, and it's Nick Chubb, direct snap, and touchdown, Georgia.
What a great series of calls by Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator for Georgia. Georgia is a slow-tempo team. They probably have run less plays than almost any, and Chaney comes up in a hurry-up, gives Auburn a bout of everything in this drive, and produces a touchdown on the first drive.
Rodrigo Blankenship in for the point after. And the #1 team in the country certainly looks it in the opening march of this game.
Ness, it's a true freshman quarterback, but it's the 10th week. And Jake Fromm has earned the respect of his coaching staff. Third down, throw it up. His receiver high gets it, and at top of his jump does wins. And then the play action pass. Godwin wide open, sets up the goal-to-goal situation, and Georgia pushes it in with a wildcat and those strong legs from Chubb.
70-yard march, 8 plays. Nick Chubb in the end zone for the 10th time this year. 7-0 Dogs. As Spirit, about a half an hour ago, made a perfect landing at the 49-yard line, but I thought it was pretty sweet.
He didn't stumble at all.
No, not at all. Neither did Georgia on their opening drive. No. 70 yards for a touchdown. Nick Chubb, 39th rushing touchdown of his brilliant Georgia career. And now Blankenship will kick. And this will be returnable from about the 11-yard line. They've been knocking in. He's going to be dropped after a short return out across the 20. We welcome you, everybody. Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson. We barely had a chance to get our headsets on, and Georgia's up 7-0.
Yeah. These are big games, right? And big games, what do they have to do? When Georgia got the ball, they're a great running team. What do they got to do?
Well, they got to establish a running game, and then don't let them throw over the top if you're Auburn's defense, right?
You're good at this. But when Auburn has the ball, I think Georgia's going to do the opposite. They got to take away Auburn's deep ball and then stop the run. I think it's going to come down to who at the end, don't you think?
The quarterback?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
And so far, one quarterback started out pretty well.
Let's see how Jarrett Stidham does. Just going to flip this on a little jet sweep, and it's not going anywhere. Going to lose a yard. Eli Stove. Let's check the Chick-fil-A starting lineups, and it starts with Jarrett Stidham, the quarterback. Told us yesterday, biggest game he's ever been in. It's the biggest game he or Jake Fromm's ever been in because he's never been in this atmosphere before. He's played really well the last 3 weeks. Really since the second half of the LSU game when things kind of fell apart. From that point on, Auburn's played very well. On second down, he's going to roll to throw, fires a rocket, complete. First down, Auburn. Craig Myers on the receiving end.
The most experienced offensive lineman is right guard Braden Smith, number 71. Watch him and clean up the blitz. Wham! Reggie Carter got it right in the ear hole on that one to clean up that pass.
And now the quick flip out in the flat. Ryan Davis with the completion. We'll check the rest of the starting lineup. We'll have to hurry because Auburn will be hurrying along with us. A guy that's really become a big play wide receiver, Darius Slayton, averaging over 30 yards a catch. At the 41, and it's a wildcat. But Kerryon Johnson patiently waits and now cuts to the right side and gets the sideline into Georgia territory with a stiff arm and a first down at the 41.
Cam Martin was back there with him in the wildcat, the running back, and then up front, watch this guy all day. Chandler Cox, number 27, also gets a block at the point of attack. Ball threat and a very important part of this big play action pass game that Auburn features.
I'm sorry we highlighted him now.
Yes. He got in the kind of the trash of the play. He was split very tight to the offensive tackle, and the pile landed on him.
Marquise McLean will take his spot at wide receiver. 2nd down and 7. Nice play fake by Stidham. Loads and now has to reload and throws it away. Got some late pressure from Ledbetter.
Darius Slayton, the big play receiver. You see him on the bench. I think it was his ankle. He's right here, close to the action. Watch him come inside, and then the pile kind of falls on him from behind. I don't know, maybe he just lost his footing right away, because it looked like he went down as soon as he attempted to make the block.
He's in the tent right now. Hastings in the lineup too, as part of a 4 wideout group here on 3rd down and 7. Auburn, like Georgia, a very good team on 3rd down. Stidham getting late pressure from Carter and company, and he's going to go down. Officially, it's going to be Roquan Smith that got him at the end.
Yeah. You know, officially, I don't know, it's close to a sack. Jared might have got to the line of scrimmage to avoid the sack, but this was reminiscent of the Clemson game when Stidham could not find anyone open to throw the ball to. At least in his mind, he did not have an easy throw, and he tucked it and tried to get back to the line of scrimmage. He had 11 sacks against Clemson, and about 4 or 5 of them looked exactly like that. Wow, 54-yarder here. His
career long is 56. He's hit a 54 this year as well. He is a weapon. Got it. And Daniel Carlson, the all-time leading scorer in the SEC, drills another one.
And I got to say, that would have been good from 57, which is an important number around here. Same direction. A few years back, Alabama tried one of those and it didn't work.
Went the other way. Tigers on the board with a long field goal, 7-3.
Welcome back to Jordan-Hare Stadium, where Georgia leaves 7-3. We saw Darius Slayton limp off the field. He went into the medical tent. He's dealing with a left ankle injury. They just taped it up. He's working on it on the sideline right now, trying to get back in the game. The team has not told me if he's cleared or not. I'll let you know as soon as I do, guys.
All right, Allie, thanks.
And I think he got stepped on as he was making the block.
As Allie said, he's trying to work it out there on the sideline. Meanwhile, Auburn on the board, 41-yard drive in 8 plays, a little over 3 minutes to get that long field goal from Carlson. 16th field goal of the year for him. And he's hit a lot of them from 50-plus, as you just saw there. His last kick was returnable by Hardman. Let's see if this one will be. It will, from about a yard deep. Spins his way out across the 20, around the 22.
Hey, Ness, there's no backing down in this game. Ryan Davis, and DeAndre Baker locked up at the sideline right there. 3 of Alabama's finest right there decide as they're separated to give them a warning. Okay, like Brad, when you're driving back home, I hope you get one of those guys to get a warning when you're driving back.
Well, I'm going to worry about Mike getting a warning. I'm not going to be driving.
That's nice when you get pulled over and you get a warning like that.
Second offensive series for the Bulldogs from the 22. Nick Chubb. And everybody pushing and driving, and gained a lot more yardage than it looked like it was going to. Andrew Williams, one of the first guys to finally drag him down. Kirby Smart, 2nd year as a head coach at Georgia. First year was kind of shaky, 8-5. And now the #1 team in the country and trying to go to a perfect 10.
Oh, actually, a year ago, one of his big wins was this Auburn game a year ago.
That's right, 13-7. Chubb again. First down. Got it out to about the 34-yard line.
You know, the word that comes to mind about this Georgia offense is, I think, efficient. You know, it seems like no matter what they do it well. If they want to run power, they do it well. They want to throw their backs out of the backfield, they do it well. They don't make mistakes at quarterback. The receivers run sharp routes. This is a well-coached offense. Efficient is the word you can apply to this #1 team in the country.
From under center, Sonny Michel is the tailback as Nauta moves out now as a tight end on the right side. Sonny Michel, quick cut, spins for just over a yard. Nice tackle by Carlton Davis. And now Georgia looked like it was going to go tempo there for a second too. They're at the line. Michel stays in at the tailback spot. Jake Fromm trying to be heard over the crowd. Michel, nothing doing. Andrew Williams, second time this series. The tackle has made a stop. Nick Chubb passed Bo Jackson on that last carry. Is that some serious company or what?
Yeah. You get mentioned with Bo Jackson, you've had a good career.
Over 4,300 yards. He's not in there right now, but his best buddy and roommate, Sonny Michel, is. 3rd down and 8. Godwin in motion. Fromm getting some pressure. Down he goes. And it's Jeff Holland, 9th sack of the year.
And he got the matchup that Auburn wants. He's on the true freshman, Andrew Thomas, number 71. The best pass rusher in the SEC is matched up against a true freshman. And he takes a rip right through him for an easy sack. Auburn will be shocked. I know they got the back shoulder throw for the first down before, but Auburn will be shocked if they don't win 3rd and long in this game. They're counting on winning 3rd and long.
Roberts will wait the punt from Cameron Nizilik. Roberts runs up on a fair catch and takes it around the 38-yard line. So 10 minutes into the first quarter, Jeff Holland has given his offense the ball back because of that sack of Jake Fromm. Tigers on offense when we return.
Zucker, New York with this Ford update. Auburn's Jarrett Stidham got to know the Clemson D-line back in week 2. Those Tigers right here drilling Florida State's James Blackman. The ball comes out and Clemson recovers, leading to Kelly Bryant going in for the touchdown. Number 4 Clemson would clinch the ACC Atlantic with a win today against the beleaguered Noles. As we go back to Brad, Gary, and Allie.
Thanks, Zuck. Tough Clemson Tiger front every year. They've got number 1 picks going in the NFL.
And they've had 17 players drafted the last 2 years. You can see why they're having a good run.
Veterans Day today. We thank all our veterans wherever you might be. Hopefully you got a couple hours to spend with us. First down, Auburn at the 39. And there's an end around, and now Davis wants to throw. Got a man open on the sideline, but just too far in front of Jarrett Stidham.
Well, Ryan Davis was a high school quarterback, and he's already completed a touchdown pass this year, a 62-yarder, but he had to get rid of this one before he wanted to. Pressure coming from Smith, he could feel it, and even though the receiver was wide open, the quarterback could not make the toe tap and catch. I could have had that one.
Yeah, I bet. He laid out for it, that's for sure. So the first trick play of the ball game doesn't work. Here's Stidham back where he belongs. Throwing out in the flat to Barrett. Barrett's up to the 46.
You know, sometimes it's the little things that don't show up in the stat book. Jeff Holland is 250-pound linebacker. Watch the ball almost come out for a fumble turnover. Fromm, good athlete, baseball player, gathers that ball and saves points.
And Holland has forced 4 fumbles this year, almost had number 5. Tight end Brown now shifts to the left side, powers over that way. The run's going straight up the middle for the first down for Kerryon Johnson. Roquan Smith hit him, but didn't hit him early enough.
This is a veteran offensive line for Auburn. 4 seniors are playing in this football game, and one of the guys to keep an eye on is Darius James, the right tackle. He was nicked, had to come out of the A&M game a week ago. They're hoping he is healthy and can play the whole game today.
First down, Kerryon Johnson again for 4 more. Lorenzo Carter drags him down, but They're almost in scoring range for Carlson already.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, I kept talking to, Gus Malzahn, Chip Lindsey, their offensive coordinator, about what do you do with Kerryon Johnson? You're going to need him in the fourth quarter. Oh, yeah. Pitch count, pitch count, pitch count. I don't think they're worried about pitch count. They're going to give the ball to Kerryon Johnson, right?
Julian Rochester's a guy that came out of his stance and got the center before the snap, so they're going to walk that off against Georgia.
Casey Dunn is another one of those guys that have been, nicked. Both he and Darius James, the right tackle, wore colored jerseys.
Defense number 5. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And what I mean, even on Thursdays, they were wearing no contact jerseys because they were gimpy with ankles, knees, or legs. They don't tell you anymore what's the problem anymore,
Yeah. Upper body, lower body.
Yes, that's it.
2nd and 1 here after the penalty. Johnson, flea flicker. Stidham getting heat. Late throw and incomplete. Well, they've tried true trick plays now on this series.
Well, I tell you got to give the Georgia defense credit on this. You go with that type of a flea flicker play early in the game, you have to make the proper play.
Trent Thompson, nice rush there.
Yes, he did. But, boy, Thompson was put enough pressure on where it wasn't open. But, really, it wasn't open. There was nothing really there.
Back to the Wildcat on 3rd and short. Kerryon Johnson waits for his blockers and now busts into the secondary. First down, Auburn. That was a J.R. Reed tackle away from being a touchdown, maybe.
Boy, he is a load. And when we met him yesterday, I said, hey, you don't really have a bye next week, but you might be able to rest next week a little more than this week. He goes, I'm going to lay it all out there. Whatever they need, I'm going to give it in this football game.
First down at the 32. Play action. Stidham getting some heat again. Got away, showing good legs, and almost got a first down. Reggie Carter made the stop along with Dominic Sanders.
I really love it. It's what actually Brad told you in the open about this Auburn offense. Because they don't really have the designated running quarterback, they need to continue to keep it wide open, and they have.
Oh, what a cut by Johnson. Are you kidding? First down. Davin Bellamy thought he had him in his sights, and it was whoops.
Davin Bellamy decided to come back to college football because he thought he needed one more year. That's what it would have been like in the NFL right there.
Wow. First down at the 14. The flip out. Tough catch by Stowe.
Nice tackle.
And they're going to drop him for a yard loss.
Again, you get into this football game, both defenses. Mel Tucker said the same thing. We've got to tackle in space. J.R. Reed, a tackling machine,
he is.
To tell you the truth. One of the real come-through guys, as Mel Tucker has talked about his secondary is, and then the sugar huddle that Auburn puts out right here. They'll get the receivers out, they'll turn around and quick snap it.
And there they go, right at the 15-yard line, 2nd and 11. That one batted in the air. Incomplete knockdown by Walker.
I think it was Tyler Clark, number 52, or was it Walker to the outside that got it? Yes, it was.
Clark wanted the interception.
Yes, I could have had it. That active front, those two wide guys, Carter and Bellamy, and then inside. Don't sleep on those inside guys. They are big and strong and experienced.
Just like Georgia, Verizon Red Zone's been good to Auburn, especially in SEC games. And now Lorenzo Carter jumped off.
No, I think it was actually Auburn moved. I think it was actually Darius James, number 78.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's going to make their 3rd down tougher here.
Yeah,
Lorenzo number 7 there. You see him pointing.
That's what you do nowadays. And you look out there, good news for the Auburn fans. Darius Slayton, number 81, is lined up in the slot left. Right here, back in the football game.
After having the ankle retaped, as Ali told you. Back at the 20, it's 3rd down and 16. Georgia 4-man rush. Stidham still getting some pressure. Throws as he's going left. Oh, what a nice play at the very end. by Roquan Smith.
I tell you, when you watch tape, you see number 3 going all over the football. It reminds you of Reuben Foster from Alabama. He was a midseason All-American. Middle linebacker was Smith, and you can see why. He's either making tackles, hitting the quarterback, or in this instance, knocking down a pass to save a potential touchdown.
Hastings had a step back there in the corner. What a play by a linebacker. That's why he's a Buckner semifinalist as well. Carlson hit his first one from 54. This is 37 yards to try to make it a 1-point game. And it's up, and it's good. So 1:20 remaining in the first quarter. Stidham on the phone upstairs took a shot from Lorenzo Carter at the end of that last play, but the Tigers have cut the lead to 1. Feaster. Auburn cuts the Georgia lead to 1, courtesy of Daniel Carlson. Another field goal, all-time leading scorer in SEC history, and 5th all-time among kickers. 446 points. What a weapon that guy is. He's money. Yep. He did have a couple blocked last week.
He did, and it looks like their tempo has improved a little bit on the kicks. I thought their rhythm was a little too slow last week. It looks like they've got that stopwatch out and speeding it up a bit.
Tyler Stovall, his holder's been the guy for all of those points, believe it or not. Talked to him yesterday. Interesting story. Played baseball, minor league baseball, for 5 years before coming back to Auburn and playing football. And Hardman's going to bring it out again. I thought he'd stay in this time, but he's weaving his way on a nice return. Nico Hardman, far sideline across the 40, all the way out to the 48-yard line. That was pretty nifty.
Well, I'll tell you, if Jeremy Dinson didn't get him that time, I don't think anybody would have, because it was just Carlson after that. Nico comes out left, feels that there's an opening to the right, and if Dinson, number 20, doesn't get him here, I don't know who is.
47-yard return, and they have not done well.
No.
The not-so-special teams of Auburn.
They're playing right into their scouting report.
They sure are. Right into our graphic department. 1st and 10, Georgia with a 1-point lead. Nick Chubb into Auburn territory to the 48.
You know, we talked about that the Auburn team has to stop the run first, because Georgia runs 7 out of every 10 plays they run. In fact, you know, they're 8th in the country in rush yardage, and if you look at everybody in front of them, they're all wishbone teams. Yeah. Army, Navy, and Georgia Tech. I mean, they run the ball, and they're going to run the ball.
279 yards a game, and Chubb again cuts it to a 3rd and short as we get an AT&T field pass. Zook's in New York.
All right, Ness, it was a game that was back and forth, and it ended in the back of the end zone. Final minute, Iowa State freshman 4th stringer Zeb Noland intercepted by A.J. Green of Oklahoma State. The Cowboys allowed 20 points less than a week ago, looking at 2nd place in the conference, guys.
Hey, I'm not sure Georgia's going to snap it here, to tell you the truth. The quarter's going to end. I think they're going to wait for the end of the quarter.
Fromm's waiting patiently, and just as Gary said, they take it to double zeros. What a first quarter it was. 7-6 at the end of 1. We'll return to Auburn after this message and a word from your local station. First corner, that'll be a busy place tonight if Auburn upsets Georgia. There's a couple of trees over there that are off limits. The rest of the street, do whatever you want on the TP side of things. We only had to move the ball about 8 yards between quarters, going the other way now. Georgia at the Auburn 46-yard line.
And what do you do if you're Jim Chaney? Remember last time it was a sack. 3rd and medium, though. The quarterback is a threat as a runner in this situation.
Nada, the tight end in motion. Fromm flips it, intended for him, and it's broken up. So 4th down. As we start the second quarter with a nice stop by the Auburn defense. You've been telling me all week Auburn's going to pull out Alba stops. Yes. That last series, they had a flea flicker and a throwback to the quarterback. They're using everything.
And even if they don't work, it's part of the game plan. Without the running quarterback, Auburn has to keep the defense honest. Sometimes you do it with the running quarterback. They're going to do it with the play-action passes, the deep throws, the gadget plays. That's how they feel they can run the ball throughout the game, is to keep the Georgia defense honest. And Georgia has to be honest because they keep throwing them.
Nizelek to punt. end over end. This one's going to bounce and take a Georgia roll inside
really
the 10.
Bounce. I think it, yes, I was at the 9-yard line.
Yep.
Good call. You know, when you watch Kerryon Johnson, not only is he strong, but his style of running, I really didn't notice it until I got here live. He kind of runs like Le'Veon Bell from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He pauses, and then he goes. That style has been very effective to Le'Veon Bell, and Kerryon Johnson seems to do it naturally.
That one run that led to a score last week against Texas A&M, that was just mean.
He manhandled that guy, didn't he? He's got 6 carries already, which would be on a pace of 24 with my Purdue math right there.
We're pretty good at that.
Yep.
You weren't an astronaut, but mathematician maybe.
Close.
Here's a quick throw out to Stove, and Stove's got a crease. Georgia still hasn't gotten him down. All the way out to the 29-yard line.
It's so different watching this team. I wondered how would Gus Malzahn kind of develop this team without his favorite running quarterback like a Cam Newton or Nick Marshall. And look at it, just looks different. They keep you honest in the passing game.
And here comes Kerryon Johnson. There goes Kerryon Johnson. First down, Auburn. Dominic Sanders and J.R. Reed finally got him down. This is where you can go tempo when it's working like this.
Absolutely. And if you notice, Stidham after the play,
that was dangerous.
Same play they actually ran to Stove the last time to the right. They came back and called it to the left.
Bellamy sort of sniffed it out, though, and got a hand in the way.
But you know how quarterbacks who are runners, after they hand off, they fake running the zone keep. Well, in this instance, Stidham is faking throwing the ball.
Fourth man didn't make the sideline prior to the snap. The 5-yard penalty. Repeat first out.
So, illegal substitution against Georgia. That'll make the line of scrimmage almost to 47 now.
Well, it cannot surprise Kirby Smart and Mel Tucker. They've got plenty of experience going against this hurry-up Auburn offense in the past.
Johnson flanks Stidham. He's going to get it.
There it is.
He waits.
That's
and now
Le'Veon
cuts
Bell.
outside. First down.
Exact same moves.
He got really hit low.
Yes, he did. Personal foul.
Boy, popped up. It looked like he was going to stay down, but not on the Georgia sideline, not on your life.
Yeah, and I think it was Parrish, number 14, that gets him late on this play. Pause, and then get to the outside. And it is Parrish, yes, number 14, Malcolm Parrish, that gets the call.
Fouling the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, the 14 of the defense. The 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So a couple of penalties on Georgia, and Auburn moving down into dog territory at the 30. Let's see where they're going to put it. About the 30, I think.
And here's where you have to be careful as a play caller. And this has happened in the past to Gus Malzahn. He knows he's got 3 points in his pocket. You can't get too conservative now. You've got to score touchdowns, you think, to be honest in this game and knock off the #1 team in the country.
There's a big shift. They get 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, and an empty backfield for Stidham. Throws right on the money. Wide open. Chandler Cox, a fullback.
Does anybody recognize this Auburn offense from the past? Going no huddle, putting their H-back out as the wide receiver and throwing it on first down, being aggressive.
And inside the Georgia 15, Johnson only got about a yard this time. We haven't even talked about missing Cam Petway, who would be a huge addition and would help Kerryon Johnson as he did a year ago in the backfield.
He was the main guy a year ago. Interestingly, both guys have had trouble with hamstrings that cost them part of their season. But without Petway and that 1-2 punch, it's been all Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah, we haven't seen Cam Martin yet. We expect to give Johnson a breather sometime. Second down and 9 at the Georgia 12. Kerryon Johnson again. This time Georgia's waiting for him. Nice open field stop out there by Aaron Davis. It's not easy to bring him down in the open field over there. So the biggest third down of this first half probably right here. Third down at 10. They've got to get inside the 4 for a first down. And whistles.
Prior to the snap, timeout Georgia. The first timeout of the half.
So the Dogs take a timeout here.
Yeah, I think they only had 10 men on the field. After the timeout, just scanned real quick. They didn't have enough.
And they need all they can right now against an Auburn offense that's in gear and down a point.
Want to stay up to date? Hey Siri, show me college football scores.
A couple of minutes ago, Georgia had an illegal substitution penalty. This time they wish they'd had another guy
Yeah,
up there.
they did. You know, there's the nickel defense, the dime defense, and then the very dangerous 4-2-4 defense.
Not enough guys. Kirby Smart called the timeout. You see Kirby over there on the far side, signaling for the timeout.
He sees it, he's being told up top, and he gets one just in time.
So it's third down and 10 for Auburn. Their only scores 2 field goals so far. Georgia defense would like to hold them to 1 here.
Still got plenty of time on the play clock.
Kerryon Johnson flanks Stidham. Davis in motion. Lorenzo Carter trying to get some pressure on Stidham, and he underthrew Darius Slayton, his intended receiver.
One of the trademarks of the Alabama / now Georgia / South Carolina / Florida defense is they handle these crossing routes. This defensive tree that has been created by Nick Saban and his proteges that have gone around and played this defense handle those inside crossing routes as well as anybody in college football.
Carlson's hit from 54 and 37. This one should be easy for him from 30 to try to give Auburn the lead. And it is easy for him. Auburn takes the lead for the first time in the first half. 3 Carlson field goals. And the Tigers at home now lead the #1 team in the country, 9-7.
Where the Tigers lead Georgia 9-7. Kerryon Johnson is literally carrying his team to a lead in this first half. And Gary, you've been comparing him a lot to Le'Veon Bell. When I talked to Kerryon Johnson last week, he told me that one of the players that he looks up to is Le'Veon. He says the one thing he likes to take away from him is his patience. So it's no wonder that he reminds you of him out there. He watches a lot of film on him. And he said, you know, patience also comes with the fact that the game is slowing down for him year after year, and he can feel himself getting better in that category. And you can certainly see it.
He really carries the load for this team. And earlier in the week, I heard him talking to somebody. They said, you know, about the number of carries.
Yeah.
He said, I just keep running until the game's over.
That's a good strategy. I thought, though, against LSU in that game, and he did not have a great second half, I thought he tired a bit. And, you know, I started to bring it up with Chip Lindsey, the offensive coordinator, and Gus Malzahn, and they both almost finished my sentences. We know it's going to be a 4-quarter game, and we need the real Kerryon Johnson in the 4th quarter to have a shot to knock off this team.
So far, they haven't spelled him at all. He is getting a nice little rest right now because he's got the lead. His team does, 9-7. Carlson to kick away to Hardman and Elijah Holyfield. And Hardman, the last time he touched it, had a 47-yard return.
I feel like, you know, you got those old guys like those old running backs going, shut up, Gary. Just let him carry the ball. Herschel carried it, what, 40 a game?
Yeah, right. Here's Hardman again from about the 5. And found a little opening to get out to the 28, maybe the 29-yard line for Georgia to take over offensively now. First time they've trailed. There's the statue outside of the bust, I should say, of John Heisman.
Speaking of Herschel.
And speaking of Heismans, our Aflac trivia question: which schools have produced the most Heisman Trophy winners? SEC schools, beg your pardon. Well, I'm not going to give any hints, but I know one school that's had 3, and I'm thinking another one that had 3. Georgia had a couple. All right, finish that later. Sonny Michel next to Jake Fromm. They fake it to him. Fromm fires deep. Got a man. Incomplete. Riley Ridley was at his shoe tops
Carlton Davis fell down on the play. Man-to-man coverage, no safety back there. Watch the post, watch Davis fall down. It's a walk-in touchdown, and they don't get it.
That close.
Oh my.
Instead, just second down and 10. Two tight ends set for the Dogs from under center as Godwin will move to the far side. Back to the ground, and Nick Chubb. Nowhere for Nick that time.
I think Trey Williams got part of that tackle, number 30. He's been struggling with a bad shoulder all year. We visited with him yesterday, and he said, it's good enough. I'm ready to go. He might be their most active linebacker, and they miss him when he's not in there, and he made the play on that one.
Well, here's where it's going to get loud for Jake Fromm. You can say he played at Notre Dame, but there was about 40,000 Georgia fans there. There are not that many here. 3rd and 10.
Remember, Auburn thinks they should dominate this down. Can they?
Fromm, pressure coming from Holland. Down he goes. Marlon Davidson with a sack.
As Brad told you, 2 true freshmen on the right side. The Auburn front four, athletic. From the outside, Holland puts the pressure and then is eaten up inside. Brown gets at least a half a sack. Going into the football game, the Auburn defense and coordinator Kevin Steele said, if we don't dominate 3rd and long, we can't win.
Nizelik's inside his own 5 to punt. But we're going to have a timeout here. With 10:25 remaining in the half. A sack celebration for the Tigers, who forced a Georgia punt when we come back. Auburn and all your favorite teams, download the CBS Sports app today.
Hey, Brad, what's more dangerous than a 10-man defense? How about a 9-man punt return? There's 8 guys in your picture.
That's not enough.
That's not enough. 8 guys there, 1 man back to catch the punt. And that's why Gus Malzahn calmly walked up and said, we ain't doing it like this.
Of course, the sack is what forced the 4th and 21. So Nizelik, again, will be kicking away around his own 5-yard line. Roberts is the man back deep. And again, Georgia runs a shift here on their punt team. Not enough protection. Finally, they got the extra man back in there. Oh, and they got close.
They went for it, didn't they?
Roberts, fair catch, taken back around the 34-yard line. So 10-17 remaining in the half. Georgia with the lead. Auburn with the lead and the ball. A little bit earlier, we asked you the Aflac trivia question, and it was, which SEC schools have produced the most Heisman Trophy winners? Well, we're on campus here. Auburn had 3. Pat Sullivan, Bo Jackson, Cam Newton, Florida. Likewise with 3. There's Pat, who's here today, by the way, in 71. Bo won it, 85. And then Cam Newton in the national championship season 2010. John Heisman, after who the trophy is named, was the head coach here at Auburn from 95 to 99. I'm talking about 1895 to 1899. Stidham flares it out complete to Barrett.
And if you're thinking that the Auburn fans are happy to see a first down pass, remember that LSU game they did when they took the lead. And with 51 seconds remaining in the first quarter, they did not attempt another first down pass until they were trailing 17 consecutive first down runs, and they didn't try another one until they were losing in the game. A lot of lessons learned.
Yep. Second half was disastrous. Kerryon Johnson, little jump cut, and gets it to the 34. So 3rd down Auburn.
And now it's time for this Georgia pass rush. Carter and Bellamy to make the same impact on these 3rd and longs. Remember, it was that pass rush that ended that game against Notre Dame with the sack fumble.
Third down at 9. 2 receivers to each side for Stidham. Here comes the pressure. Stidham's going down just like Gary called it. And it's DeAndre Walker.
Yep, this time it was one of those more intricate blitzes. They faked the blitz from a couple different angles, and then Walker, number 15, comes around the outside and makes the pin on the play. Finally, the Georgia defense is going to force a punt from this Auburn football team, the first in the game, and that big play defense, you got to match it. Third down, those front fours got to win, and Georgia finally made the big play.
Hardman coming over to the sideline is going to take it on the bounce at the 25 and comes up that same sideline. Got a pretty nice return out of it, actually, for Georgia. So they'll take over with 8:07 remaining in the second quarter. Number 10 Auburn leading number 1 Georgia 9-7.
Most important project that this Auburn franchise has done is go out and get good football players. And they got a lot of them on defense. In the secondary, at linebacker, and most importantly in that defensive line. Talk to every coach who plays against Auburn or sees them on tape. They go, they are elite in their front four, and that's smart football. Get good, strong pass rushers, stop the run, and you can make this Georgia team have 14 rushes for 13 yards at this point in the game.
And Jake Fromm, who started out 3 for 3, is 0 for 2 since and has been sacked a couple of times. And now on the end around is Hardman out to the 40.
You know, and even if you take the 2 sacks out, there's still the running backs have carried the ball 12 times for 34 yards. When you watch Georgia run, though, their offense, against, especially when you watch the Florida game, they plug along, and then all of a sudden one of those bracks makes you miss, and they are gone. So don't go to sleep on this Georgia running game. It can explode at any time.
Right now it's Nick Chubb in the backfield on 2nd down and 3. And it'll be Nick Chubb with the handle, trying to spin his way, but they're not going to get him there. Carlton Davis stood him up, and Trey Williams finished him off. It's 3rd down. Georgia's going to bring in an extra tight end. 3rd down and a yard. And it'll be Sony Michel with Fromm in the Georgia backfield. And he's not going to get it either. Great stop by the Auburn defense led by Trey Matthews.
Well, Trey Matthews has a lot of memories about this game.
Does he ever?
In both uniforms. But with him healthy, he's a big part of this football game. Almost playing a linebacker position. He guess he's unaccounted for on a short yardage play, which is hard to believe that they just don't hit that up there and just make it happen. But for whatever reason, Trey Matthews is playing a linebacker spot, wasn't blocked.
Nislek's kick. Fair catch called for and taken in some traffic.
Yeah, that's going to be a penalty, though. You still have to give room for the receiver to catch the ball. I think they were too close that time.
Jason Stanley looks like maybe the guilty party. There's the fair catch.
Yeah, he got into space. That's going to be a penalty.
Kick catch interference, number 2 of the kicking team. It's a 15-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. First out.
Well, Georgia's had some really bad penalties in this first half.
They have, and they've been a little unfortunate on their one opportunity for a huge play, a touchdown play. They missed it down the middle of the field to Ridley.
So Auburn will have it at the 30-yard line.
And watch out. This is where Auburn likes to go that play action pass. See, if you're the Georgia secondary, you can never crowd the line of scrimmage because you're always worried about that deep ball they will throw.
Golston and James, the 2 tackles, have switched spots for Auburn as they go to the left side behind James. And a nice gain on the play. Actually,
And I think it's Golson is at right tackle now, number 73.
Well, he plays everywhere on the line.
He does, but he was at left tackle, and Prince Monago is now in the game at the left tackle, number 76, I believe. But boy, they all look kind of big and the same down here, don't they?
We asked Golson yesterday, what do you like to play the best? He said either center or left tackle, but I don't know, wherever they put him. Here's a big play for the Georgia defense if they want to get the ball back before halftime. 3rd down and 9.
Yes, they have made that change. Golson is now at right tackle.
Georgia thinking about a blitz off the corner.
Yeah, they were going to do more than think about it. He's coming.
And there they come. They go right at Stidham, trying to track him down. And it got to him, incomplete. They've got a kick.
Interesting. The quarterback looks back at the bench. You and I could both tell they were coming off the slot. They were blitzing, but he still rolls right into the blitz. And all Stidham could do was try to buy time and see if he could get the ball late to his receiver.
They actually brought 2 guys, both
sure
Reed
yes.
and Davis.
Well, you knew at least one was coming, and it was never called off. You'd think all these guys that looked to the bench, they would change the play, but they did not.
Marshall to punt. Georgia bringing some heat on their punter. Flag down.
You know, I wonder if it was leaping on that play. Trying to block the kick. I wonder if they're going to call it leaping.
Matt Austin, our referee, will make the call here.
Personal foul. 15 of the defense leaping the punch shield. A 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Just like on field goals, you cannot leap. It's a dangerous play. Watch him go down. The reason that is called, just for that reason, the player, once he goes up, gets his legs taken out and he goes right down on his head. It's a very dangerous play, and why it was put into college football.
2 huge penalties on the Bulldogs. That's their 5th penalty. That's another big one, and it gives Auburn new life for their offense.
You know, sometimes you can get a little too up for a football game, and it doesn't feel right now. Some of these miscues, these self-inflicted miscues by Georgia, they're just a bit too jacked up for this game.
Davis runs out in a slot on the right side, and that's where they're going to go with the ball. And he's got a seam that really tags. Flag down.
Yeah, this one might be holding on Auburn, though. Those wide receivers were tangled up for a long time out there. Usually you get a hold.
Holding, offense number 81. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Still first down.
You're on a roll with the penalties right now.
Well, you know, you're asking those receivers to block a long time. This was an RPO. The offensive line was thinking it was a run play, and to the outside, the receivers are going, I don't know if it's a run or a pass, but I know I have to block my guy a long time, and if you're Darius Slayton, you're going, hey, I'm a deep threat, man. I don't know how to do this other stuff.
And not only that, you could have called it on Nate Craig Myers,
just
too. Both guys were holding.
Yes. But it's not a disaster for Auburn because it happened downfield, so they get, what, 1st and 9 here?
And a quick swing pass out to Kerryon Johnson in the open field. He's got a first down.
I'll tell you who's a valuable football player for Auburn is Chandler Cox, number 27. On the right side of your screen, he got the block on Patrick that time, number 6, the linebacker, and allowed Kerryon Johnson to get those extra yards after the catch.
So Auburn moves the chains to the Georgia 43 with another first down with 4:25 remaining in the half. Stidham pump fakes one way, wants it all down the middle. Man there, got it, touchdown, Slayton.
Darius Slayton times this catch beautifully. He sees it, slows down, and keeps Malcolm Parrish on his back. There's the fake, and watch Slayton slow down and catch it over his shoulder. There's nothing Parrish could have done. Look at that snag. And as I said, Brad, I just told you I'm a deep threat. I'm not a blocker.
That's right. He averages 30.8 yards a catch. That one was good for 42.
And he was, the night before signing day, everyone expected Darius Slayton, a Georgia high school football player, to sign with Georgia. And look at him slow down and catch that. That's as good as you can do.
Man.
That's top-level NFL talent that judges balls like that and keeps the defender on their back. Remember that play against LSU when Chalk overran the ball and reached back? That's what you got to do. You got to make the quarterback look good on that. That only a few type of athletes are able to handle a catch like that.
They're reviewing whether or not he was across the goal line before his backside touched, and I think he rolled with Parrish across the goal line.
I think he did too. He was on his leg, wasn't he?
Yeah. I don't think he ever touched till about right there.
I'll tell you, you learn lessons no matter how old you are, and Auburn learned a valuable lesson.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
They took their foot off the gas against LSU. They're not taking it off the gas so far in this game.
No, pedal to the metal in this half.
And you know what? Georgia has nobody to blame but themselves. 2 penalties on that drive. They had the ball back. That's like a turnover. When you have a penalty on a punt, that is a turnover.
Carlson for the extra points. Up and good.
One-on-one. He's got Parrish. He's running a post. And boy, did Jarrett Stidham wait on this one. Good protection up front. Waits. Clears out the middle. So there's no safety in the middle and delivers a strike.
70-yard drive in 6 plays. Stidham to Slayton for 42, and Auburn leads 16-7. 4:09 remaining in the half. Auburn now up 16-7. Georgia scored on their opening drive and haven't been close since.
Well, you know, the last 2 times that Auburn's played Georgia, they really played with injured quarterbacks in the football game. Jeremy Johnson and Sean White. You know, having a healthy quarterback helps.
Here's a pooch kick.
I don't blame Auburn, do you?
No, not after what Hardman did.
Exactly. And got a fair catch out of it. I'd be featuring that a lot.
Now, don't get another penalty. If you're Georgia, you just had 2 bad ones on the last series. Kirby Smart's trying to get his guys off the field.
You know, we asked Kirby about his team being #1 and being used to playing as a favorite, as being #1 with everything on the line. You know, it's one of the, the great traits of the Alabama football team. They're used to being #1. Yeah. It's brand new for this Georgia Bulldog team.
You have to own your burden. That's what Kirby calls it. Right now, they're trailing for the most points all year.
Yeah.
And this is a situation where everybody said, when Jake Fromm's put in this spot, how's he going to react?
Well, we're going to find out. You know, the biggest deficit, as that graphic showed you, Notre Dame led 10-3 in the second quarter and 16-10 in the third quarter. So this is different.
Let's see if Sonny Michel can quiet the crowd. Nope, not on that one. Carlton Davis put a hat on him on the sideline, short game. Georgia today, that opening drive was a beauty. Not so much the next 4 times. And now we're under 4 minutes in the half. And they've got second down and 8. DeAndre Swift in the lineup for Georgia. You always kind of watch where number 7 is. Right now he's in motion. Fromm throws incomplete. Wins, I think, should have had that. Kind of a funny ending to that play.
Well, Wims had to come clear across the field. Auburn was playing zone, so it had to be stuck in there. And yes, he should have had that. The true freshman quarterback put it in a spot where he should have been helped out on that play. That's good enough.
Cam Petway leading the cheers on the sideline for the Auburn defense. 3rd and 8.
And 1 for 5 in this game, 0 for the last 4.
Fromm fires on the sideline. Oh, what a catch by Wims that time. Well, he dropped the last one. He didn't drop that one.
Carlton Davis is going, I've seen this before. I remember going up against that Clemson team. I had my guy covered just like this, and the Clemson receiver made plays. Carlton Davis is going, how does that happen? But you know, Carlton, you've already fell down once. It could have been a touchdown. I'd just take it the way it is right there if I was you.
30-yard gain for Georgia, first down.
2 third-down conversions, both looked about the same.
Let's see if they go back to Nick Chubb here. And here's a flea flicker from Georgia. That's going nowhere either.
Well, it should have been a touchdown, I'll tell you that. Hardman, number 4, was open like the first guy out for practice. Watch him streak down the middle of the field. No one covers him. Wide open as the Mississippi State first play of the game. But what will a pass rush do?
Deshaun Davis pass rush got to Jake Fromm before he had a chance to see Hardman.
Man, oh man, that's 2 touchdowns that Georgia could have had on the board.
Chubb hit in the backfield and then drilled after he got a yard. Davis was in on that play too.
You know, the irony of this Auburn defense, they've only given up 7 plus 20 runs all year. So you know that Chaney, the offensive coordinator, Georgia's saying, we might not be able to find a big run against these guys, but he's already called 2 big pass plays that have not produced what they should have. Or maybe could have, would be a better word.
Third down and 15. Fromm fires on the sideline again, incomplete, and Wims is saying, how about a flag? And there won't be one. Carlton Davis was covering.
Shoved him out of bounds.
Yeah, we might have had a complaint there.
Well, I'll tell you, Carlton Davis, if you watch a lot of tape from him, watch 3 games, he has the potential to be a high draft pick. He gets beat, but the guy's always close. He's right there on the play, and you have to make a catch on a contested ball when you throw it at him if he doesn't fall down, that is, I guess.
Yeah. 3-year starter at that spot in the secondary for Auburn.
That was a huge stop for the Auburn defense, because remember, Auburn gets the ball to start the second half.
Nizelek to punt. End over end kick. Roberts calls for the fair catch around the 10-yard line. So Auburn with a 9-point lead and 1:37 remaining until we get you the Geico halftime report. Adam Zucker, BJ, and Houston Nutt in the halftime report from New York coming up shortly.
I think Gus Malzahn is telling Chip Lindsey, get me out of the half here. Okay, I don't want to punt the ball in this situation at all. Georgia's sitting with 2 timeouts. Can they get it to halftime? They'll run it, I believe, on first down and see what Kirby will do.
This is an Auburn for the 10.
They stay in the shotgun, not under center. Kerryon Johnson cuts outside. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Kirby will play it safe. He only has 2 timeouts. Auburn should take it down all 40 seconds.
Mel Tucker there next to Kirby, the defensive coordinator.
Auburn will not be able to get out of the half without a first down. Georgia can force a punt with 2 more stops.
Stidham standing at his own 5. Gives it off to Kerryon Johnson again. He's got pops after a 2 or 3 yard gain. Atkins and Sanders.
Oh, he's not taking a timeout.
Nope.
Oh, now he does.
So we'll take it as well. 42 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Come seek the Royal Caribbean.
DirecTV has been rated #1 in customer satisfaction over cable for 17 years running. But some people still like cable, just like some people like banging their head on a low ceiling. Drinking spoiled milk. camping in poison ivy, getting a paper cut, and having their arm trapped in a vending machine. But for everyone else, there's DirecTV. For #1 rated customer satisfaction over cable, switch to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Domino's, 2 large pepperoni pizzas, please.
Only Domino's lets you earn Piece of the Pie rewards points when you order by phone, online, or when you order in store. We make it easy for you to earn free pizza any way you order.
You cannot wear a Raiders jersey to my family's Christmas dinner. Just turn the lights off.
See what everybody's laughing about with Kevin James and Lee Remini star in a new episode of Kevin Can Wait, Monday at 8, 7 Central, only CBS. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Hallie LaForce, and our CBS crew at Jordan-Hare Stadium at Auburn. We're 10th ranked. Auburn leading #1 Georgia 16-7.
Well, here it is. The play clock was about at 40. Game clock goes from about 46 to 42, about 4 or 5 seconds. And with the bad special teams and return teams that Auburn has, you've got to force them to punt here at the end of the half.
They're down at 7. Kerryon Johnson was the motion man. The throwback's the other way to Slayton. Slayton's going down at the line of scrimmage.
Look how much Gus was nervous about punting the ball. He was even willing to throw it right there.
But they're going to have to punt it when we come back. 36 seconds remaining in the half.
Get half off exactly what you want with Pizza Hut's 50% off pizza deal. That's 50% off your favorites like hand-tossed pepperoni, meat lovers, or even original Pan Supreme. That's right, get 50% off any menu price pizzas when you order online. But hurry, this deal ends soon. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Only you can shower. To smell unique. To smell confident. To smell amazing. You got something. Smell like the best you with Axe U Body Wash.
So Auburn on 4th and 6 going to be forced to punt from near their own goal line.
Yeah, this is still a lot of time in this half.
And that guy's dangerous.
Absolutely.
If they kick it to him.
Will they try to return here or go for the block? Remember, they had a penalty on the last one.
Got 10 guys up there right now.
They're going to go return.
Yes, they are. And the punt's a beauty. Hardman's going to field it, though, at the 44. Hardman across the 40, down the sideline, and he's inside the Auburn 30, down to the 24-yard line. What a big play by Mecole Hardman.
Well, you can see this coming all the way. Right from the time that Auburn got the ball, with Georgia and Kirby Smart was figuring if he could get his offense on the field one more time. He got him on the field with 22 seconds? Is that what it is right here?
Yep.
Plenty of time.
Out of timeouts, but in scoring range already, field goal-wise at least. But they would love to get a touchdown before heading to the locker room.
Remember, no timeouts.
They're going to keep it on the ground to Sonny Michel. That's a little surprising, maybe.
Well, I think you're not going to see any more runs.
Going to have to see a spike pretty soon.
Will they spike it here or have another play in the huddle?
Spike it. They're going to bring out the field goal unit, try to get 3 out of this.
Yeah, I wouldn't run. There's obviously they can't run another play. Boy, they got about the minimum out of it, didn't they?
Yep.
I'd have gone one back shoulder throw, wouldn't you? I got to throw the ball to Wims one time, see if he can catch it.
Rodrigo Blankenship's 11 out of 12 on the year.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they didn't have the confidence in the quarterback. I think it was more no confidence in the offensive line.
Blankenship from 42 yards out to try to make it a 6-point game. And a timeout.
Timeout Auburn. The second timeout of the half.
They're going to let Hot Rod think about it a little bit.
Well, he hit 2 second half, fourth quarter field goals a year ago. Remember, Georgia wins a game a year ago without scoring a touchdown. Had a pick six to start the second half and 2 field goals. Yeah, I think that strategy of running the ball and spiking it was all the not giving up a sack. They were just afraid to get a sack at that situation.
So barring a penalty, the last play of the quarter.
We'll have to say, though, just to be honest, they're calling it straight.
Alley's with Kirby Smart.
Coach, when you guys got the ball back to end the half, why didn't you go with more aggressive play calling to try to go for the touchdown?
We probably should have. We thought they'd be playing more of a soft defense. Thought we might hit a run in there. But at the end of the day, we're trying to get a field goal. Thought we could get a couple yards for the kicker and didn't.
Auburn only had to punt twice. What will you stress to your defense?
Biggest thing is getting off the field on third down, getting them to third down, and then no dumb penalties. I mean, that kills you. We give them 7 points on a dumb play.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
No truer words could be spoken by a head coach.
He was watching the same game we were, right?
I think so, yeah. So 16-7 at the break. 10th ranked Auburn Tigers holding their home field so far through 2 quarters. Adam Zucker, Brian Jones, Houston Nutt will be along with the Geico halftime report after this. Just about set to start the 3rd quarter at Jordan-Hare Stadium. And the #1 team in the country trailing number 10, 16-7. Blankenship has got it teed up. Auburn will get the football first. Nick McNogany and Cam Martin are back deep. And this one will be out the back of the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 25. We welcome you back to Auburn. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Dave's over there, George is over there, Clint's there, Phil's there, Tara's up there. We've got Barb's behind us.
This is our home right here.
You know, first half, I got to give Auburn credit. They held Georgia to 19 yards rushing. Right. But you talk about a group of Bulldogs that bit themselves in the paw in that first half.
Yeah, dumb penalties, as Kirby called them, and a couple of potential big plays. But a couple things to think about. 9-point lead. That was the same lead they had at LSU, and in both of Auburn's losses, they did not score a point in the second half at Clemson or at LSU, but this is not an apt. This is a home game.
And here's an end around to Eli Stove for the first play, and it's a big one. 13-yard pickup and a first down.
No doubt in my mind that Coach Malzahn walked into his halftime locker room and said, we didn't score twice in the second half of our losses. We have to put points on the board or we won't win this football game.
Let's check in with Allie.
I did talk to Coach Malzahn, and his message to the team was keep the hammer down. He was really happy with the way they stopped the run and the pressure they put on the quarterback. But he said we have to run the ball better, but not a lot of changes, just more of the same, guys.
And they have started off very nicely out to the 45-yard line. They go with that little sugar huddle again that Gary talked about on 2nd and 4. And they're trying to come with Stove, and he only got about a yard. So 3rd down.
Again, Chandler Cox, the H-back fullback, gets a great block to the outside right there. To the outside against Aaron Davis, number 35, to at least give the play a chance. If you're interested in watching, well, he's not out there right now, so good block. Watch that guy.
They need to get to the 49 for a first down.
Will the Georgia front four do it again? They did it once.
Roquan Smith was thinking about a blitz in the middle. And here he comes. The throw complete. First down.
Oh, that's a nice catch. It was not an accurate throw. This could have been a lot easier, but Darius Slayton makes the play. And I don't know. It's going to be close. You know you're going to get a replay on it, aren't you?
Well, if they get the playoff, we won't.
No, they don't.
So we'll never know about
they
that
stopped
one.
it.
They did get it stopped.
They stopped it.
It's hard to hear in here. They did get it stopped.
They're going to take another look at it.
And Gus just said we snapped the ball.
Remember, there's a buzzer to the officials on the field, and they're looking at it. Was this ball caught, or did the ground help the catch?
Wilbur Hackett's a replay official. As you get another angle and another look. This is the first look we had, and this is the one where it looked like maybe not.
Remember, it was called a catch on the field. Oh, no, I think that's not a catch. His hand was not underneath that. The ground helped Slayton finish this catch. You can tell as he comes up that his hand is inside the ball and it's moving right there. I don't think that's a catch. I would call that no catch.
He does a great job of getting that right hand back on the ball, and he's looking at what we're looking at only on the big screen.
Now, it's okay to have a catch and have the ball hit the ground, but it can't help you make the catch. I think the ground helped on the catch that time. But
of course, he made a sensational catch in the first half for the Auburn touchdown.
Of course, that's just our opinion, and that doesn't count. There's only one guy that counts, and then back in Birmingham, there's 3 other people that count. And if no catch, Georgia's going to get the ball back. You know, both of these teams have been great on third down all year. Coming into this football game, Georgia was 50%, and Auburn was basically 50% at 47%. But in the first half, both of them were 2 for 7 in the game.
Well, we're taking a long look at this again.
It's an important play.
Yeah, it's a huge play.
The ball was not accurate. That was about a yard and a half wider than Jarrett would have liked to have that ball thrown. It looked like he got it, but as he comes up, you can see his arm is not underneath the ball. It's inside of it.
Steve Landis is a replay official. I may have
And then he recatches it again right there.
So this one's taken a while, but as Gary said,
well,
it's okay if it takes a while if they get the right call.
Yes.
Here it is.
After review, the ruling is an incomplete pass. Therefore, the ball will be returned to the 46.5-yard line, where it'll be 4th down. Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 13:31.
So instead of a catch and a first down, it's a punting situation.
And just enough, you know, they'll allow the receiver to catch the ball and touch the ground, but they won't allow that ground to help with the catch. You can't have a third hand out there with the ground catching it. As good as you were, Darius, on the other catch, that one, and it really wasn't his fault. It wasn't a great throw by Jarrett Stidham.
So Marshall will punt. Nicole Hardman stands back around the 15 for Georgia. He had a really nice kick return in the first half. And a couple of pretty good punt returns.
Well, it's hard to believe with all the great athletes that Auburn has, they have such poor punt return coverage.
And kick return coverage.
Yes. I guess it would just be called punt coverage, right?
Right.
We added a word there.
Finally, we've got it set to snap.
High enough. This is what you need.
And Hardman dropped it. Did he get back on top of it?
He did not.
Auburn's got it. So much for bad punt coverage.
Yep. And you know, Hardman had a chance to get it, but he whiffed on it. Totally whiffed on it. When he fumbled the punt once, and then when he tried to get it, watch him just whiff. A miss off his knee, and watch another miss right here. Whoop, right over the top of the football.
And finally, number 49's the guy that came out of the pile with it, Darrell Williams. So a guy that had made a couple big plays and punt and kick returns today drops that one. And now Auburn almost in the Georgia scoring zone, their red zone right here at the 23-yard line. Great opportunity for the Tigers. They come with the end around to Stove again. They've used this play a few times today.
Well, Eli Stove is listed as a wide receiver because you'd almost say he's a glorified running back. Came into the game with 20 rush attempts for over 200 yards, and he continues to run the football from that wide receiver spot.
Terry Godwin consoling Mecole Hardman over there on the Georgia sideline.
Oh, great play. Did not clean up the tackle.
And he ends up getting the first down. Kerryon Johnson, second effort, maybe third effort.
I'll tell you, I know Le'Veon Bell's name is thrown out a lot in comparisons, but the more you watch him do this type of stuff, isn't that exactly what Bell does for the Steelers?
Yep. So first down, Auburn at the Georgia 12.
I mean, John Atkins, a senior, a great football player, inside nose tackle, had him dead to rights.
Just couldn't hold him.
Yeah.
Now it's the Wildcat. It's all Kerryon Johnson again with blockers in front. Then he accelerates, taken down from behind. After a good stiff arm, J.R. Reed got him down.
I'll tell you, Brandon Smith, number 71, pulls out and cleans up on J.R. Reed.
Reed actually made the tackle, so give him a little credit for hanging in there.
Yes, you're right. Brandon Smith, Pat Dye was out at practice, and Pat Dye said, Garrett, give Brandon Smith some love. He's an All-American starter for 4 years here for the Tigers. Great football player, Gary, number 71. Gotcha, Coach.
Tigers can get a first down at the 2. And it's Stidham on the keeper, heading to the corner. Got there, touchdown, Auburn. Third rushing touchdown of the year for Jarrett Stidham.
Well, I actually think Jarrett Stidham could have given the ball for a touchdown. Watch Kerryon Johnson gets it. That could have been a touchdown because it was well blocked. And then Stidham himself gets in there, actually with a good block at the end from Slayton.
Extra point is good. 11:57 to go in the third quarter, and the hole is getting deeper for the #1 team in the country. It all started with a fumbled punt by Mecole Hardman right there, covered by Darrell Williams. And with that, they only had to go 23 yards in 4 plays. That was the capper. And Auburn trying to pull an upset on the Plains. 23 running backs have been totally shut down. Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. And most of those 5 first downs came on Georgia's opening 70-yard drive.
That's right.
Since then, 5 punts. No more points.
I think they have 70 yards on that first drive and 35 the rest of the half.
Yeah. Well, there's the guy that dropped the punt, but he did have a 47-yard kick return in the first half.
Yeah, they had 22 plays. I was just told by my spotter over here, David. 22 plays for 35 yards after the first drive.
Carlson's kick will go to Hardman on the fly at the 6. As you look up above, and he cuts back, and he's cut down right about the 24, 25-yard line.
Well, Brad, here we go. All year, the question has been from the Georgia faithful, could anybody put the pressure on Jake Fromm, the true freshman quarterback? Could anybody get him in a spot where he had to win a football game from the pocket? Is there still time to run the ball? Yes. But I don't know if they're going to be able to win this game if Fromm doesn't have a great second half.
It might be a cool late afternoon, but it's a hot spot he's in right now.
Totally.
Sony Michel trying to get to the edge. Gets across the 30. Georgia's had a bunch of miscues in this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, you remember they had 2 touchdowns wide open that they could not convert. One there, and then on the flea flicker where Jake did not have time to hit the open man. And then the drop punt, but in between, they had the personal fouls that was just like a turnover on the punt. There's been a lot of bad.
Here's a little bit of a shovel pass to Werner. It's short of the first down. He's about a yard shy. That time Fromm looked like he was going to run an option and pitch it to the outside, and then he just shoveled it right back to the inside. Well, if the Dogs ever needed a 3rd and 1 yard, they need this one.
And remember, they came into the game 50% on the year.
2 out of 7 today. It's Michelle in there with Fromm. They're going to throw for it. Flips it out to Sony Michel, but they're right there to meet him. Maybe a loss of a yard. Darrell Williams, who recovered the fumbled punt, makes the play, but we've got a flag down.
I didn't see this one, I got to be honest. Have no idea where this is going to be.
Neither sideline does either, I don't think.
The only thing I can think of.
Offside, defense number 4, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first out.
So remember, that sideline where that official made the play was right near the Georgia bench. So the Georgia bench was pointing out.
Here's Jeff Holland,
number 4. Right there was just over the line. Doesn't look it from this angle, but it's a bad angle.
Well, Georgia had a penalty go their way. That was pretty big because it's an automatic first down for the Bulldogs. Fromm getting pressure in. Down he goes, and the ball is out. Georgia's going to cover it. Kendall Baker got on top of it. That could have been a disaster right there.
And Georgia couldn't keep any more guys in. They kept everybody in on this play. They must have had 5 offensive linemen. The tight end stays in, and the fullback stays in, and still get a block that time from the backside. And man, Dontavius Russell, it took him forever, but obviously Georgia didn't have enough guys out there to make anybody look open.
Georgia doesn't have to pick up all of this on this play. On 2nd and 21. Swift will try to get some of it back, but he only got about 3 or 4. And now it's 3rd and long.
You know, Ness, we were told by Kevin Steele, but when I watched practice on Thursday, one thing did stand out. As good as Sony Michel and Nick Chubb are, the Auburn defense is keying on number 7. They had a special jersey on Swift all during practice. As Kevin Steele said, we have to know where number 7 is. He's the guy that does all of the different things from the running backs.
Georgia hasn't had a big play from a wide receiver since the opening drive of the ball game. They still don't. Incomplete, intended for Wims. He's looking for a flag from Jamel Dean, doesn't get one.
How about Auburn now? 3rd down and 20 yards? 3rd down and 17.
Yep.
And Auburn goes bump and run, man-to-man, face-to-face, and challenges the Georgia quarterback to throw a back shoulder play.
Kevin Steele also told us we ain't backing up.
We ain't backing up. I think that's the theme that Gus Malzahn has said. Keep your foot on the pedal. If we're going to beat this great Georgia team, we cannot let up or back up.
Nizelek to punt. And there's a flag. Georgia was moving, I think, before the snap.
They were.
False start. Offense number 3. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I was going to say it was Roquan Smith, but there might be 3 number 3s in college football, right?
It is him.
Is it? Okay, we got it right there.
One of the great things we love about college football.
Exactly.
Triple numbers.
You can be in it 30 years and still be afraid to call it a name, right?
Here's Nizelek's punt. Everybody coming down, and here's a big punt return for Auburn. Ryan Davis. And now we got a fight going on, or a celebration of some sort. We got a flag down, I think, in the backfield. See who this is going against.
I thought it was Sony Michel that time that got in the middle of this thing. You see this Auburn team, we got drawn away on the punt return.
Following the play, dead ball, personal foul, number 1 of Georgia. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Georgia's going to look back at this game and say, how many times did we do something stupid and a flag flying?
It was Sony Michel, and it happened way down away from the play.
A good punt return, 15 more in a Progressive. Auburn got a 26-yard punt return. It'll take you back to the penalty, though, at the end, which was 15 more.
Yeah, it happened right here. Sony Michel gets hung up with the Auburn defender and throws him down on the ground right there. That's a 15-yard penalty. But watch the punt return. They fake it. 2 men are back for Auburn, which is very unusual. The punt returner goes to the one side. That's Stephen Roberts. And then from the other side, the Auburn player backs up and catches the ball. Very, very tricky punt return.
Wildcat now with Kerryon Johnson on the first snap. Might have gotten a yard before he's run out of bounds. So with all of that, the penalty, 26-yard punt return. So the line of scrimmage, short field again, Gary, 34-yard line.
Yeah, and again, just to kind of, this Georgia team just seems to be too hyper in this football game. They just are trying a little too hard, doing a little too much, and it's catching up with them.
They gave Johnson 2, so it's 2nd down and 8.
Here comes that blitz off the wide side of the field.
They brought both guys last time.
And they're coming again.
Stidham's going to throw right into that, and that's a good spot. Davis broke a tackle inside the 20. Davis, touchdown Auburn. What a beautiful call for where the pressure was coming from, and Ryan Davis did the rest. 32-yard touchdown.
One thing you know, if you and I knows where the blitz is coming, Chip Lindsey and Gus Malzahn and Jarrett Stidham know where the blitz is coming, and they didn't roll into it this time. They threw behind it. Perfect call.
Extra point by Carlson is up and good.
Remember last time that the blitz came off the edge, what happened is Jarrett Stidham rolled into it. This time he says, I'm not doing that. This time I'm throwing into it. Roquan Smith is the guy that missed the tackle. He had a shot on it, but once you get in the open field, it's tough to handle Ryan Davis.
His 5th touchdown of the year. And number 1, Georgia's in a heap of trouble on the Plains. Auburn only had to go 2 plays for their 34 yards. Ryan Davis, 32-yard touchdown reception from Jarrett Stidham. And it's 30-7. Number 10, Auburn at home with a lead.
Well, this is just unfolding unbelievably for Georgia, making mistakes, not being able to do what they want to do. Remember, they've only been held under 200 yards rushing one time this year, and that was 185 by Notre Dame. They've got 19 yards so far in this game.
Wow. Kick's going to be taken by Elijah Holyfield, and he's dropped after a return of about 10 yards. And let's get an update. Adam Zucker in New York.
All right, Ness, the defense is scoring between Iowa and undefeated Wisconsin. 2 pick sixes for Iowa's Josh Jackson. This is the Badgers' Leon Jacobs getting the leftovers and making it 24-14 in the third. Number 8 Wisconsin trying to go 10-0 for the first time ever and clinch the Big Ten West today, guys.
Well, Georgia's already clinched the SEC East, but they had bigger fish that they were planning on frying. Auburn's got a different plan right now, 30-7. And Jake Fromm will be under extreme pressure for the next 23 minutes. Nick Chubb, again, nothing doing, a yard maybe. We take a look at the Dr. Pepper SEC standings in the West. Auburn controls its own destiny. They win today. That 2 weeks from now, it's the Iron Bowl. If Alabama's still undefeated, they would have an opportunity to beat another number 1 team, then go to the Georgia Dome and beat a Georgia team again. I mean, there's a way.
It's incredible.
It is.
It's incredible. What an opportunity they have. We were here in 2013 when they had those 2 miracles, but playing this well against Georgia, hard to believe.
Fromm on a bootleg, throws complete. One of the few completions since way back early in the ball game. Terry Godwin, but it's not a first down.
And the reason Georgia has to throw like that, rolling out, just take a look at last week's game against South Carolina. They threw the ball 22 times, but 12 of them were RPOs. The offensive line were run blocking. They only pass blocked 10 times in last week's game against South Carolina. They're going to have to do that in this half.
3rd down and 4. Here comes the blitz from Deep on the sidelines, got a man open, it's Wims. He's got a first down, still on his feet, down near the 31-yard line.
Another mix up by this Auburn defense. Watch two guys take one, and Wims is wide open. A bust in the secondary, and this time Fromm had enough time to make the Auburn defense pay. That's the third time in this game Georgia's had big play opportunities, the first time they've been able to convert one.
They're finally back relatively deep in Auburn territory at the 31-yard line. DeAndre Swift in there in the backfield for Georgia now. They fake it to Hardman, who wants to go back to him, and he's going to throw it away. And he took a hit after throwing that pass out of bounds. Checking with Alec.
Guys, the Georgia defense was really rattled. Some infighting going on, some arguing, but Kirby Smart doesn't miss a beat. The second they get off the field, he's there. He's calming them down. He's drawing up plays. It got to the point where defensive end Jonathan Ledbetter had to come over to the defense and just say, guys, settle down. Let's have eye discipline. Read everything. Play composed. We still got this. Let's keep our heads up.
Ness, I thought Georgia caught a break on that last pass. Jake Fromm was in the pocket and clearly threw the ball away and got away with it.
I thought he had Miko Hardman wide open too, but now it's Swift, only a yard. Derek Brown made the tackle.
Well, when Derek Brown, number 5 right there, is healthy and a big motor, he wins. And you can see that time he just threw away Solomon Conley that time, number 66. Just tossed him away like a rag doll.
He was a leading tackler against Texas A&M last week. A big stop there. Georgia, 279, 8th in the country, and today they've got 20 yards on the ground. And this one won't be on the ground either. 3rd and 9. Big rollout. Holland chasing Fromm, and it's incomplete. Gary, do they go for it here?
I don't know. From that far, 3rd and long, I think I go field goal, to tell you the truth, and try to get it there. I just don't think they can make it from that far. Darrell Williams, number 49, put the pressure on the edge rush that time, and Jake just couldn't get enough on this pass. I just try to put 3 points on the board.
Well, the last time they tied from the same spot at the end of the second quarter, he missed it from 42. It's going to be another 42.
Yeah, Georgia's done a little bit of everything. Mistakes on special teams and a missed field goal on special teams.
Beg your pardon, this is 47. Blankenship's kick on the way, and this one is good.
They blew the whistle early here, it looked like. Nope, it's all good.
So Georgia gets something out of that and inches a little bit closer. $47-yard field goal by Blankenship, caps a 45-yard drive and gets it to within 20. Is on the line, and the dreams that Jason Aldean's singing about in the Auburn Tigers' minds right now. They're up 20 with 5:23 remaining in the third quarter.
Ness, one of the things that's forgotten about the prayer of Jordan Hare in 2013 was that Georgia was trailing by 20 points in that game in the fourth quarter. They came back to take the lead. Their quarterback was Aaron Murray. I will say
good.
that, but they've been down before, and you got to chip away, and then hope there isn't time for Nick Marshall to show back up at the end of the game.
Yeah, exactly. As Kirby Smart would say, you got to keep chopping wood. We got a lot of wood left to chop. Blankenship kick will go out of the back of the end zone, bring it out to the 25, and we've got an opportunity to talk about our Quicken Loans Scholar Athletes, confident on the field and in the classroom. Today's Scholar Athletes presented by Quicken Loans. Isaac Nada for Georgia. I don't think's caught a pass today. Daniel Carlson, major in finance, already graduated. And he's been a big part of the Auburn attack, not only this year, but throughout his career. Quicken Loans' commitment to the investment of our future shown today by donating $1,000 to Georgia and Auburn's General Scholarship Fund.
As much as we want to talk about Georgia needing to score 21 points and they were behind by 20 before, it's going to have to be the Georgia defense stepping up. They can't allow any more points.
That little flip again to Stone, and there's a way to do it to start with. Lorenzo Carter with a hit.
You're not going to make up a 20-point deficit just on offense. The defense is going to have to start getting some 3 and outs and put the pressure on Auburn. Let them feel that lead start to get nervous at home.
Give J.R. Reed some credit on that, too. He blew up the lead block to let Lorenzo Carter get the tackle for a loss of 3. Kerryon Johnson out to the 30. Going to be 3rd down and about along 4.
The end of that play, it was like he was trying to kick out of that last tackle. Roquan Smith had a hold of him. He pulled away from one tackle on the outside. I think it was Sanders, number 24, but not quite the second one.
Gary, that gives Kerryon Johnson his 600-yard game of the season, the 9th of his career. Third down and 4. Blitz coming. And whistles.
I think there's going to be a legal procedure on the left side of that Auburn offensive line.
Tego Winogo, I think, the left tackle.
Snap, false start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Yeah, Prince Tegawanoga, number 76, came in because Darius James could not finish out at right tackle, moving Golson over to the right side. Watch it right there. There's the movement, and just enough.
Just a little head start trying to get the angle on DeAndre Walker over there from the Georgia defense. So that's 3rd and 9.
It was also a corner blitz, and I think he saw it out of the corner of his eye.
See if Georgia's defense can get the stop they're looking for. Stidham. Pressure coming. And they get to him. And it's Aaron Davis who brings down the Auburn quarterback and forces a punt.
Well, that's exactly what the Georgia defense had to do. They got a good stop on 1st down, and then they got a penalty to make it 3rd and long, and they end up getting a sack. These games can get tight fast, believe me. You think you got a big lead, and then all of a sudden you look at the clock and go, oh my gosh, there's a lot of time left and our lead's shrinking.
Nico Hardman, you look behind him. Remember, he dropped his last punt return. Marshall to kick it. Hardman trying to get everybody out of the way. This one's going out of bounds. Going to give Georgia pretty good field position. All the coaches over there pointing at the spot, but it'll be the official little point. Well, they're going to be pretty close.
Don't you get the feeling that every Auburn fan here is looking at the clock and go,
go. And every Georgia fan's going to go, slow down, slow down. Next Saturday, Mississippi State could get together with Arkansas. Or Texas A&M will take on Ole Miss in our doubleheader, and then we'll be in Athens as Kentucky and Georgia get together. Home Depot SEC on CBS. Doubleheader kicks off 12 Eastern next Saturday on CBS.
Well, Jake Fromm's going to be the hero in a comeback. That offensive line needs to give him the time like that last pass he completed to Wims.
Either that or give Nick Chubb or Sony Michel some room to run. In this case, it's Nick Chubb, and he didn't get much. Got about 3. Coming into the weekend, the remaining unbeatens. Alabama playing tonight, so's Miami against Notre Dame. Wisconsin, we just got an update from Adam on that one, and UCF won today over UConn. Swift in there in a slot on the right side as an added receiver. Empty backfield for Jake Fromm. Throws, trying to get it in there to Swift, and it's broken up. Darrell Williams had a good, that's not Williams. That is Montavious Atkinson.
Yeah, Montavious Atkinson is the 4th linebacker that comes in the game. He rotates with Trey Williams, and this time forces him in for his help. He knew he had help inside. He played outside shoulder. Good defensive play by Atkinson.
As you said, they knew where number 7 was again.
All the time.
Only 3 of 10 on 3rd down today for Georgia.
Remember, Auburn believes they should dominate on 3rd down.
3rd and 7. Fromm deep left sideline. Wims can't quite get it. Number 6 against number 6 out there. Incomplete.
And Brad, I don't think Georgia can go for it here. The big reason, as you see the end of this play, is because of Carlson and his big lead. His big leg, they cannot give, with this type of a lead, an opportunity for Auburn to put points on the board from this field position. They got to punt.
And so they will on 4th and 7, and Nizilik in the punt. Stephen Roberts is back deep for Auburn. Auburn's got the safe on here a little bit. I don't think Georgia's going to fake a punt here. Oh, it's a dandy. If they can drop it inside the 5, and he did.
Yes. Wow.
Great kick at the 3-yard line.
Smart.
Nice job by Nizilik.
Yep, nice smart play. Good call by Kirby. Didn't gamble too early in the football game. It's still a 4-quarter game, and you just got to play it the way it goes.
Thursday on CBS, buckle up for the new drama SWAT. Shamar Moore stars in a new episode Thursday at 10, 9 Central, only CBS. And now Georgia's defense has Auburn backed up at the 3-yard line. Jarrett Stidham's going to be taking this snap in his own end zone.
Yeah, and you know, Gus Malzahn said, I want to stay aggressive, pedal to the metal, but how do you do that down here?
You give it to Kerryon Johnson. And he goes to give him room and almost got a first down.
I'm not used to setting up my play-by-play guy like that.
Thank you.
Just give the ball to Kerryon Johnson and that offensive line, that veteran offensive line. You know, it looks like the Auburn offense is finesse. It's not. It's downhill. It's physical. It just has the feeling of finesse because of all the motion.
Look at that total yardage today. And it's Johnson again. And a first down.
And this is why I thought that Auburn needed Kerryon Johnson in the 4th quarter, because he's a guy who can eat up time, make first downs, and shorten the game.
He's carried it 22 times already. He'll probably only have to carry it about one more time before the end of the 3rd quarter.
I don't see how you can be tired when you look up on that clock. You got the #1 team, and you got a 30-10 lead. You don't get tired.
No. Here's Stove in motion. Kerryon Johnson again. Out across the 20.
If they could give the ball somewhere to another player right here for one play, it's almost like basketball. You can take the timeout, right? You know, with the end of the quarter right here and get to the 4th quarter and give them a rest. Gus Malzahn said in this type of game, he's not afraid to run his quarterback. Let's see if we might not get a quarterback run and a bit of a rest for Johnson.
They shift Davis over in the slot on 2nd and 6.
Yep.
They're going to throw it out to him.
Same thing.
And he went for a touchdown last time. He almost got a first down this time. And that's going to wind the 3rd quarter down.
Same strategy. Don't give it to Johnson. Get it to the 4th quarter. Get the rest at the end of the 3rd quarter.
The Dogs defense is not giving Kerryon Johnson a 100-yard game. Kerryon Johnson's taken the Georgia defense for a 100-yard game through 3 quarters. Number 10 Auburn leads #1 Georgia.
They're going to do the measurement first and then go to the end of the quarter.
They're about a football length shy of a first down. So that's what they're going to have left.
Then they'll mark the chain on the line right there and go to the other side and know exactly where that chain is.
And then move it down to the other end.
Yep.
We love change because in this day and age we figure there's a better way to do it, but I like the change myself.
You know, if we had another Aflac question, I got a good one. Wisconsin clinched the Big Ten. When they clinched it when we were doing, where was that game?
Tokyo.
Yes, you're right.
I can tell you there's none of that going on the Georgia sideline right now. The Tigers had the Dogs right where they want them as we enter the 4th quarter. 30-10, Auburn in front. They go with that short huddle again on a third down and the length of the football to start the fourth quarter.
And Carry-On is rested.
And here he comes again, easily for the first down. Got about 5. Carry-On Johnson's carried the load today for Auburn as he has all season. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Ali LaForce. I don't know what Georgia can do right now. Auburn's just too well balanced on both sides of the ball.
It's been Auburn's willingness to be balanced through the whole game. But the other part of it is, this Georgia defense held Notre Dame to 55 yards rushing. Auburn's run the ball for 150-plus yards in this football game. And, if you're able to run the ball against this stout Georgia defense, you got a chance. They've made the big plays, but they made the little plays, too.
And Johnson, that's a 25th carry for him. Boy, he's just special. Especially for a guy that missed 2 games with a hamstring. You usually think a back like that, you hurt your hamstring and never gets healthy enough to be as effective as he's been.
That 1-yard huddle. They usually like to go wide on these situations with the quick toss.
Davis is the guy that's going to be coming back in motion the other way. Here comes the end around to Stove. Stove's got the corner, and he's got great speed. Down inside the Georgia 40. Everybody getting in the act for the Tigers.
Been watching Gus Malzahn run these type of plays since he was at Arkansas under Houston Nutt as a coordinator. He did it under Gene Chizik when he was the offensive coordinator in their national championship run. He runs the same plays, and he keeps doing it over and over again.
And everything they're dialing up right now has been working. Carry-On Johnson carries it again. That run by Stove got him 30 yards. They started this drive at their own 3-yard line, remember, in the previous quarter. Carry-On Johnson, his 1,000-yard season in his pocket right now. He's got 26 carries. His career high is 31. We saw him do that against LSU. But here he comes again. And he's going to take J.R. Reed for a ride.
Wow. You want to play SEC football? This is what it's like. Come up and make a tackle on a running back just like that. This isn't one of those leagues where they're throwing bubble screens all game. They got 235-pound running backs coming at you full speed.
And J.R. Reed's Georgia's number 2 tackler. It's not like he's a slouch.
Well, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't shy away from it either. That's what you deal with.
Back to the red zone for the Tigers with a 20-point lead. Johnson for a couple.
Give credit to that offensive line. We talked about it. 4 seniors up front. They've seen a lot. Got to give a little bit of a nod to Casey Dunn, too. Injured all week, the center. Actually, we went out to practice. He was all taped up. He barely could walk at practice, but he was taking the snaps. And we looked at our producer, Craig Silver, sitting there. He was taking off his stuff, and we were leaving the practice field. Craig said, "You ready?" He said, "Oh, yeah, I'm fine."
I'll be fine by game time. Johnson straight up the middle again, and he comes out the backside and almost got a first down.
So big here for Georgia. If they can hold it to a field goal, they could still make it a 3-possession game. A touchdown just about finishes them.
It's at the 12-yard line. It's third down, and we have it listed as 1, but it's a really long one. It's closer to 2. Hastings and Davis sprint out of that huddle to the left. And Davis goes back the other way. They drop the ball. Who's got it? Georgia says they do.
Wow.
I think Carry-On Johnson got back on it.
Auburn's got to go field goal. They don't have any choice.
That might be Carry-On's best carry of the day right there.
Best play. Fumble the snap. it was going to carry on the play, and he ended up with it.
Wow. So it's going to be Carlson again.
And just remember, even if it's a field goal, the other part of it, they ate up over 6 minutes of time.
Carlson from 32 yards out. Now a whistle before the kick.
Prior to snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Carlson's going, I don't like kicking him from 32.
Right.
Give me a 37-yarder.
Well, as you mentioned before, he had a couple blocked last week. Georgia could, with a block here, remember that SEC championship game when they had a block and Al Ogletree ran the field goal back for a touchdown to change the whole tenor of the game.
Absolutely. So now we'll try it from 37. And he still got it. Tack on 3 more for the SEC's all-time leading scorer. 33-10.
And now it's time for our Geico game recap.
And most of the Geico game recap is going to be great defense by Auburn, as Georgia's rushing game especially has been totally shut down today. Jake Fromm's been knocked around. The freshman's had a tough day on the Plains. 4 sacks. Auburn defense has played great. Georgia mistakes have been terrible today. Not only penalties, but the fumble punt didn't help the cause. And then you look at the well-balanced offense of Auburn. Stidham with 1 on the ground, 2 through the air, including this one to Ryan Davis on that little slip screen, and he weaves his way for a touchdown. Stidham the Studham, as our graphic has it for you today.
He's been a stud today,
yeah,
for
sure.
sure.
That's why it's 33-10.
I think the play calling for Auburn has been stud level, and obviously the rush defense for Auburn.
Yeah.
But if you're calling plays, you know you got to avoid 3rd and long because you can't pass block him. It's just one of those catch-22s. If you're Jim Chaney over there, what do you do? And it hasn't worked so far, to say.
Right. By the way, throw in 4 field goals by not that guy, but the guy right in the previous picture. That doesn't hurt either.
I think the penalties really got Georgia off to the wrong start here.
Here's another pooch kick, trying to keep it out of Hardman's hands, and one of the up guys is forced to call a fair catch at the 20, maybe the 21-yard line. Let's get another update. Adam Zucker in New York. Zuck.
All right, Ness, hey, another top 4 team getting tight. Number 4, Clemson, was up 17-0 deep into the 3rd. It's 17-7 when the Noles break out the trick plays. James Blackman to Ryan Izzo. It's 17-14, and they just recovered a fumble with under 7 minutes to go. Back to you.
Wow.
What did Aaron Rodgers say? Relax. Let them play the games.
No relaxing for Georgia right now. They need points, and they need them fast. Fromm off play action. Hesitates. Here comes the heat. Throws it away. And Jake has to pick himself up back at the 5-yard line again. Again, top 10. Georgia in serious danger right now of going to 9-1. Alabama would move in to the number 1 spot if they beat Mississippi State tonight. Clemson in danger, as Adam just told you, in what looked like the game of the year in the ACC. Maybe it will be. I don't know. 2nd and 10. Brian Herrion gets the handoff on the sweep, but he's running out of real estate. Nowhere to go. Stephen Roberts, they stretched it out, and Roberts knocked him out of bounds.
Again, that's what you see on tape when you look at this Auburn elite defense. Players that can run down plays. At times it's Roberts coming from the secondary spot, string it out, nothing there. Run up the middle, and those big 4 front defensive linemen are allowing Georgia to do it. Where do you go?
Give Jeremiah Denson some credit, too. He fought off the block of Nick Chubb And that's why they had to go so wide and didn't get anything. They got a yard, but that's it. 3rd and 9. From pressure coming. Hit as he throws, incomplete. And now it's a feeding frenzy right now for the Tiger defense.
What did we start out saying? Auburn believed they not only could win 3rd down and long, they were going to dominate 3rd down and long. That was the game plan all along. That's what Kevin Steele sold on his front four, that we could dominate 3rd down and turn around this football game. And you can see what happened that time. From the inside out, you get the arm hit and nothing happens. Marlon Davidson with the play.
There's Kevin Steele. Marlon Davidson, you saw him dancing off to the sideline after that big hit on Fromm and forces another punt. It's a beauty. Roberts has to backpedal to the 22. And he'll go down at the 26. So Auburn's got it back with a 23-point lead and 9:13 remaining.
Oh, I know what I'm saying if I'm Gus Malzahn and Chip Lindsey now. Don't make a mistake, and we're going to win this football game.
SEC on CBS is sponsored by Sonic, State Farm, AT&T, and by Wheels Up. 9:13 remaining in the 4th quarter. Don't forget, later in the game, not too much later, we'll have the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. I got a vote on that one, and I think I know what it might be.
It's getting late early, huh?
Yeah, it is. Getting late for Georgia right now. Not a lot of time left, and a short time to get there, down 23. Jarrett Stidham told us, biggest game I've ever played in my life, and he has
stepped up.
Yes, he has. And so is this guy, Kerryon Davis, out to the 30. Let's check in with Allie.
Guys, Jarrett Stidham is showing great leadership on the sideline. He's in constant communication with his teammates. He's going up to the offensive line in between every single possession and just encouraging them. He even gathered the whole offense to pray before the 4th quarter. And, you know, just talking to Coach Malzahn, he said there's nothing like experience. He admitted his first game was jittery. He went through the Clemson game. He learned a lot, and now he's starting to have that calm in the pocket, and he's able to react instead of think. And you can see it in the sidelines and the way the teammates trust him. Definitely stud him this time around.
No doubt. Kerryon Johnson, another 1st down run. Big collision with J.R. Reed at the end of it, but he's up around 160 or so now.
You know, Ness, in this game, we always do a play of the game, and we might have a spectacular one, but you really could grab any of Kerryon Johnson's runs in this game to epitomize what the play of the game was for 31 times in this game, because what Kerryon Johnson's done, he had 15 rushes in the first half, but he's been 16 rushes for 86 yards in the second half, and counter that with what he did at LSU when he only had 33 yards in the second half rushing. The second half rushing, he's been there. And
there's his career high rushing, total 32. He had 31 in that LSU game Gary was just talking about, so now new career high in rushes.
But he pointed out, I had 156 yards running against LSU, but only 33 in the second half. He was determined that that wasn't going to happen again. He's the leading rusher for attempts in the SEC at 24 per game. But 3 of the last 4 games, he's carried it more than 30. And, you know, in all our interviews, we kept talking about backup running back Cam Martin. Oh, we like him. We like him. We could see him. We could see him. He's the only running back to really touch the ball.
And now it's Stidham on the keeper. Trying to get around the Georgia linebacker. Took a pretty good hit from David Bellamy.
That is something that Auburn cannot afford to do. They need Stidham for Alabama and Georgia again. And watch the hit he's going to take here by 3 Georgia defenders.
I think he wanted to get down.
Yeah. Yes. That was an unnecessary hit because Auburn cannot win without Jarrett Stidham.
They got a 3rd down and 3 here at the 45.
Boy, that stung him. He is not still 100% from that hit.
Gonna roll out.
Throwback
this way to who else? Kerryon Johnson with a convoy in front. Johnson down the sideline. Inside the 20. He's gonna score. The pedal just got pushed to the floor, and the hammer just came down on number 1 Georgia. A 55-yard pass play.
Well, they had 3 great players in front of him: Brandon Smith, Casey Dunham, and Prince Tewanoga. And they cleared the way, and as Brad made the call, you knew he was going to stretch it out and get that touchdown. What a throttling of the number 1 team in the country by Auburn.
Carlson's extra point is good. The stunned looks on the Georgia sideline, the jubilation on the other sideline tells the story. Kerryon Johnson. Is he the best player in the SEC? He's one of the top 5. I'm going to tell you that right now. 55 yards on the throwback pass. And the Auburn Tigers are putting it on the Georgia Bulldogs on the Plains. It's almost like the Auburn defense said to Nick Chubb, you might pass Bo Jackson today on the all-time list, but you're not getting much farther. Meanwhile, Kerryon Johnson has been sensational.
And everything about it. The way he runs, the way he squeezes through, his stamina, his physical play, his patience when he carries the ball, the play calling. It has been a perfect night for the Auburn offense.
And as he said earlier this week, and you may not have heard us talk about it, he said, it doesn't bother me. I just run until the game's over. It's just about over for Georgia right now. 6:13 to go.
Pooch kick. Why would you kick it deep?
And they have to call the same fair catch from the same guy. Malik Herring.
I don't know if I've done one like this before, Brad. Georgia, the number 1 team in the country, comes into this game and on the first drive goes 70 yards for a touchdown. Their next 10 drives, they get 86 yards. Well, it's incredible.
They got that touchdown with about 11 and a half to go in the quarter, and Auburn's defense has only given up a field goal since. That's a long time ago.
Wow, it is dominating defensive performance.
Look at him dancing out there.
Yeah, well, hey, you're fresh. It's what a 30-point lead will do against the number 1 team in the country.
Jake Fromm throws, completes. Terry Godwin trying to reverse field, get what he can before he's run out of bounds in front of the Georgia bench.
Well, right now, Georgia has to think the same thing about their quarterback that we talked about, Jared Stidham. The way Jake Fromm is playing, they don't want to lose him. They've got big games coming up in front of them. They still, control their own destiny. If they win the SEC, they're going to play either Auburn or Alabama in the championship.
They've got Kentucky next week. We'll be in Athens, and they finish off with their other arch rival from Georgia Tech. Fromm going deep into double coverage, almost intercepted.
That looked pretty familiar to a pass down the middle like that before. Bounced up between 2 guys. Remember, it was 2 Georgia guys that bounced that ball up. Trey Matthews
being one of them.
And he's on the other side this time.
Well, here's what we're talking about.
Same direction and everything, right?
Trey's wearing a different uniform there. He's a Bulldog at this point. And Nick Marshall on 4th and 18 lets it rip. Ends up becoming the prayer of Jordan Hare. And now the best run of the day probably by Swift. That wasn't that much. Here's the end of the play we're talking about. And I remember Vern said that's the play of the year, but he didn't realize 2 weeks later there was going to be a bigger one.
I think it was me. I think I should say, you're never going to see one like that again. 2 weeks later, we did.
Yep. Clock winding down near the 5-minute mark. Fromm pressured again. And he's going to run with it this time. Gets what he can, which is about 4 yards before he's run out of bounds, and we check in with Allie.
Guys, Stidham had a cut on his throwing hand, and he looked like he was in pain when they put the alcohol on it, but he was really just joking around. He was smiling. I said, "Are you doing okay?" He said, "Yeah, I'm hanging in there. It's just a cut. I'll be totally fine." So I think a little overreaction in the beginning, but no big deal. He's good to go.
Well, just as you were saying that, a big smile on his face on the sideline.
Looks good.
Yep. Second down and 6. From throws far side, another good throw and catch this one to Hardman. But right now Auburn trying to keep everything in front of them defensively. So the clock winds 4:38 and now starts again after they move the chains.
Well, this big stage was not handled well by Georgia, but they're going to get opportunities, as we talked about, to get back on that big stage again.
We'll have to start putting it together next week against Kentucky. We'll be in Athens for that one. Then it's Georgia Tech, and then it's Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 2nd against Auburn or Alabama.
You know what else this has done for the rest of the country? The talk of 2 SEC teams now is over. That opens up another conference getting into this thing. There are celebrations going on all over, especially the Big 12.
Oh, what a hit on Swift. Man, Trey Matthews just laid the wood on his former team.
You know, if anyone has to live with it. Oh! Sonny Michel went forward on the play, though. You got to give him credit. But Trey Matthews has probably been waiting for a hit like that for 3 years.
Last year he had 8 tackles and an interception against Georgia. Back in 2013 he had 12 tackles against Auburn. From deep, incomplete. Intended for Riley Ridley, who's looking for a flag and won't get one. And we're down to 4th down.
Yeah, I think this ball was overthrown. Their feet got, well, you could have made the call at the back end of that one, I guess, on Dean.
I'll make you a bet right now. I bet you can't find a roll of toilet paper within 2 miles of this place.
Yeah, well, I'm taking one with me then if I have to. You never know. It's a long trip.
Toomer's corners getting warmed up right now. 4th and 7. Throws complete to Godwin. I don't know if they gave him the forward progress or not. He got knocked back about 5 yards.
It looks like he did get it.
Well, I don't know.
It's real close. You're right. The yellow line's right on the 24.
They're going to measure, I think.
I know the spot was close to the 24, but is it enough?
Well, Georgia kind of getting their passing game going on this drive, but again, Auburn's just playing not to get beat deep or get a cheap explosive play. And while they bring the change from the far side, this will determine if Georgia continues here or if Auburn takes over on downs. And they got the first down. You know, Georgia had won 3 straight in this and 11 of the last 15, but flash you back the last 2 times Auburn beat Georgia. Guess what? They played the national championship game. And Gus Malzahn said, yes, I did tell the team about that in a meeting a couple of days ago.
You know, I thought for a lot of times, you know, looking in this game, you know, I thought it was me. Since I came in the league, you know, in 2006, I mean, they've won twice, you know, Georgia's just owned them, you know, and I remember that game in 2006, Matt Stafford was playing. That win, and that started the run.
Right.
9 out of 11. And really nobody else has dominated Auburn as much as this Georgia team has. Odd.
But not today. 3:38 left. Reason for that delay, they were reviewing whether or not it was a first down.
Yeah, I think Gus challenged it and Kirby wasn't at. The linesman right here is the guy that makes the call. And look where the umpire is up here. He doesn't make the call. One more look from a different angle. You see where it's caught. The linesman who makes the call is actually 5 yards away from the play, right there. And he's making the call. But one other thing to think about here is the yellow line is just an approximation.
Sure.
But actually, Gus challenged it, and Kirby looked across the field like, hope we see you one more time.
Meanwhile, the whole Auburn sideline dancing again. Call on the field was a first down. That's how it feels if you're a senior on this team and you've never beaten Georgia. And it's carried over into the crowd. It's going to be kind of a long ride back to Athens.
Yep.
Now the question will be how far Georgia will fall from that #1 spot as well, when you talk about the college football rankings and all of that.
It was funny, you know, all week doing all the interviews talking about the fact that Auburn controlled their own destiny. Most people laughed when I said it, you know, but when you get an opportunity to play back-to-back #1 teams, you got a shot.
The ruling of a first down stands.
First down. All right, Gus didn't like it. But with a 30-point lead and 3.5 to go, I don't know if it's going to matter much.
No, it's not going to matter much, except for head coach at Georgia over there is going to use that. Believe me, he's going to remember that.
Yeah.
And say, really, 40-10, you're going to challenge a first down?
So the Georgia offense stays on the field. Elijah Holyfield in the Georgia backfield with Jake Fromm. That's Hardman in motion. And the throw, knocked down. Nice job defensively by Jeremiah Denson.
Kevin Steele was happy to have Jeremiah Denson healthy again and back on the field. Said he was not healthy for the LSU game, but feels like when he's got him as his dime back, one extra player, he's a valuable player for him. This is almost like a practice scrimmage for Jake Fromm right here.
Yeah, exactly. There's Elijah Holyfield. Looked like he got face masked around the 20, but I don't see a flag. Well, he's straightening his helmet out. He was looking for one too, I think.
Well, I would never have bet that this Auburn team, I thought they might be effective stopping the run, but not like this.
Wins short of the first down.
Team that's averaging 280 yards rushing a game is under 50.
#1 in the conference and 8th in the nation. Here's another fourth down. Holyfield looks like he might have gotten it. Trey Williams said he didn't.
If the yellow line is correct, I don't think he did.
Maybe not.
Oh, it's the edge. It could be. It's going to be close again. I think Gus should challenge one more time,
man,
right?
If we have that,
that'd be good.
That'd
Keep
be
the
great.
cameras on both coaches. It appeared that his forward progress made it, didn't it?
I thought so on the first time we saw it, but chains come out for the second time. And they got another one by the nose of the football. A reminder for you coming up when our game's over. Stay tuned for the CBS Sports postgame show powered by Ram.
I think there should be a rule in a 30-point game. It's close enough that you just go close enough, right?
Length of the football or so.
Right.
It's okay.
Go for it.
Now the Auburn defense is thinking we are not going to give up a touchdown. We gave up one on the opening drive. We're not going to give up another one. From, but they did. Touchdown, Georgia. Riley Ridley.
You set that up really well, though, I have to say. If I was watching at home, I would have stayed to see what happened. Let's put it that way. Good route by Ridley. Pressured the defense to the outside. Jamel Dean had outside leverage, no help inside, and you know, the Georgia and especially Jake Fromm got some experience throwing the ball.
Yep.
from the pocket, something he hasn't had a lot of this year.
Blankenship's extra point is good. But with 2:19 remaining in the ball game, it's way too little and way too late. But for Georgia, it was a 74-yard drive in 14 plays, and it's from to Ridley, 47 Since Jason Aldean opened the show with his concert.
Exactly.
GMC game changer. Any surprise? Mr. number 21, I think Kerryon Johnson probably has changed the game a lot of times for Auburn, but
and he finished it well, both running or on this cool throwback. You know what? The biggest game changer might be his draft status after this game, too.
That one went for 55 yards and a touchdown. That was really the final blow. And as we said, they will party into the night at Toomer's Corner. Everybody's up close here. The hands team anticipating an onside kick from Blankenship, which they don't get. And he kicks it away. So 2:19 remaining. Auburn takes over 40-17.
Well, here's the top 10 teams. You know, around here we don't think we need a committee, Brad. We just do it ourselves, okay? Yeah. The object here is not let the committee control your destiny. And right now, going into this weekend, there were 3 SEC teams that control their own destiny. Actually, I believe all 3 still do. The next group is Clemson and Miami. Should they win out the rest of the way, they are in. The committee wouldn't dare not put them in. And come on, the Big Ten undefeated, they will be in.
There's a lot of TV sets up in the Midwest when it's cold outside.
So now we go to the committee side, and I know Notre Dame fans are upset that they're not in automatically, but believe me, they're not.
Malik Willis in, the backup quarterback, going to run it and get buried. Let's go back to it again.
And I believe that the Final Four will come out of these 10. So that means the committee will decide who the 4th player is if the chalk holds. Will it be Oklahoma TCU winner and Big 12 winner? Will it be Notre Dame running the table that will get in, or will
get them out of it?
Washington lost. They're not back in it.
Put them back up there.
So that's how I think it looks going in to week 3 of the committee. I don't even have a computer either, and I can do that.
I know. I like the way you did that, though. Now to minute 35. Cam Martin finally in there. Willis going to throw.
Oh
man.
Goodness.
You talk about memory that Kirby Smart will forget here.
I mean, I know the backups are in. All of them are in. Marquise McClain, number 17, is in. And this is just part of the play call. But, you know, I think Gus looked across the way and said, you know, you were giving your freshman quarterback some seasoning. I got to give my freshman quarterback some seasoning, too. I'm just making it up as I go on.
I know. You might be 100% right. I just can't believe they threw a pass.
Can I tell you the truth? I'm just saying, if you're Alabama right now, you're hoping Auburn beats, if you're Georgia, you want to see this team one more time.
And now they do run it. And we might have to have one more play.
You know, there is that old thing, though. You know, if you're playing sports and you don't want somebody to rub it in, you know what you need to do?
Stop them.
Yeah, you need to stop them.
Don't throw.
Don't throw it.
Don't throw.
Don't throw it. I want the clock to run, and I'm headed to Waffle House.
Exactly.
I got to get there. I don't think he was supposed to. I think Gus is going to go where I didn't call it. I didn't call it.
Chip did. And they run it up the middle, and that will end the game. The 121st edition of the Deep South's oldest rivalry, and it was all Auburn today. And there's the handshake. What a big win for Auburn as they go to 8-2, and Georgia falls from the ranks of the unbeaten. Down to Allie with the winning coach.
Coach, congratulations. You didn't just beat the #1 team in the country. You dominated the #1 team in the country. How proud are you of this team?
I'm real proud. I'm proud of our fans. It was a great atmosphere. Got off to a slow start. Had to kick a couple field goals there. In the second half, we imposed our will on them. I'm very happy for our team. We're playing really good football right now.
Everybody talks about Georgia's defense. How about your defense?
Yeah, our defense one of the best in the country. What did we hold them to? 46 yards. And some of that was in the fourth quarter. So happy with our defense. We rushed for 237. Couldn't be happier.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Great balance on both sides today for Auburn. Running the ball with Kerryon Johnson. And the head coach gets a hug from Christie. And Allie's with some happy players as well for the Tigers.
That's right, guys. I have the stars of the show. Jarrett, let's start with you. Incredible game out there. You said this would be the biggest game of your career. Was it everything that you thought it would be?
Absolutely. This rivalry, it's a big deal around here, and I'm glad we got the win. That's all that matters.
What's it like having a guy like this in the backfield?
It makes my job a whole lot easier. Hey, and props to those guys up front. They make our job a lot easier, so props to them.
Kerryon, after the loss to LSU, you told me that this team, this offense still had something to prove. What did you say to your team heading into this one?
That we had something to prove, and we came out here and proved it. They had a good defense. We wanted to run the ball. We wanted to throw the ball. We wanted to be balanced, and I think we did that.
Trey, it's been a long time since you started your career with Georgia. What are the emotions that you're going through right now, going full circle, beating them, the #1 team in the country on your home field?
It's a great feeling. I can't explain it right now, man. I just thank the guys up front. I thank my quarterback right here. Man, I'm just so happy right now, man. God works out in mysterious ways.
Guys, congratulations on the win. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And the party's going on the field, in the stands, and on Toomer's Corner, I'm sure. Time for a play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts, a guy that we highlighted in the offensive introductions. As Jarrett Stidham goes back and watch Darius Slayton put the brakes on, make the catch, the adjustment, and the touchdown. And here's how Rod Bramlett called it.
That's the throw. Looking deep, Clinton's it deep down the field. Pass is caught! Touchdown, Auburn! Darius Slayton makes the catch to the goal line for 42 yards, and the Tigers lead 15-7.
A lead they never relinquished the rest of the day. Georgia had the opening touchdown. From that point on, it was Carlson's field goals. It was Stidham with his legs. Kerryon Johnson, career high in yardage and carries. And he carries Auburn to a shocking win over the #1 team in the country. 40-17 is the final. We're going to see you next week between the hedges as the Dogs try to put it back together. Auburn's still rolling. Who knows? If they can beat Alabama, they'll see Georgia again in Atlanta. That's going to wrap it up. For Gary and Allie, Brad Nessler saying so long from Auburn. College football postgame show powered by Ram is up right after these messages. So long from the Plains.